So I'm going to 5. What about the pain lands for clerics? Over what? I feel like I don't know what you'd play the pain lands over. Like the pathways? I think the pathways are better. Pathways did look bad in like one game specifically though. I'm keeping 2 lands Snoop Pyre. We get to keep 1 more card. I think I'll just keep the Ringleader. Even with Deceiver Exarch in the deck. Yeah, it's just like a value 3-drop to pot away. So you Pyre into it, you untap your Pyre and you sacrifice it. Or you can like untap your Vial. There's no combo with the Exarch. Although you could play Graveshifter, Pyre for Exarch, untap, get Graveshifter, get back your Exarch, and then you can Pyre away your Graveshifter for Kiki-Jiki since it's a shapeshifter. That's something we were considering. I did consider the Orzhov Pontiff, but like the Orzhov Pontiff just like, doesn't beat anything right now. Probably a Shadow again here. Shadow's probably a good matchup, but we did mold a 5 on the play. Kind of a funny draw. Alright, Force pitching Ops, so not Shadow. Although Shadow could play Force of Negation. What happened to the Cascade deck? I got stuck, so I, moved on. That's usually my process, where if I just get stuck while I'm deck building, I will switch to something else. Esper. Is this Esper Obsidat? That'd be very cool if it was. It's a weird day today, as far as like the decks we're playing against. Are we gonna finish it? If I have the idea right, if I can figure out how to finish it, we'll finish it. But this has always just been my process. When I have ideas, I start to build. When I get stuck, I just shelve it and I'll come back to it later. It's just not something I've ever been able to force. Did I make Esper Obsidat? I have tried to build an updated version that I have not found I think a good updated version for it now. They probably need to Thoughtseize my Ringleader, right? Maybe I could look at like a Niv Mizzet mana base. Does anybody have a Niv Mizzet mana base for me that plays Pillar of Prunes? Couldn't we have attacked with both? We could have, but one was a -1/1 from Jace's plus ability, so doesn't really play around anything. Yeah, I think they're definitely Esper Obsidat, which is pretty cool. We probably have a good matchup though. Hopefully they have another Jace. That would be really good for us. Although I guess they would have played it last turn. We'll take it. Could it be Esper Mentor? I guess that's maybe what Unearth suggests. Esper Mentor is also just like not a very good deck, but that doesn't mean they're not playing it because it's probably very fun. Opponent also dealt 11 points of damage to themselves. Esper Triumph win. Fourth land is nice now just like Ringleaders or Matron for Ringleaders are online. Sling-Gang is also lethal. I think it is Esper Mentor. Basic Mounted, not a very good draw. Do I just send in and put them to 4? I don't really feel like they have got a 1-mana spell. I think that's fine to keep Sling-Gang. Good chop deck. I've moved away from Pillar as it's really bad when you have multicolored cards. Yeah. I understand that aspect of it, but I still feel like Pillar's good in the Cascade deck, but I get what you're saying. I guess, yeah, I guess most Niv Mizzet mana bases are going to be playing 1-mana green spells. That's like just not going to be that good to look at for this, what we're doing. Down to 17, but has 1 card in their hand. Could be a counter spell. I'm gonna see if they pause here. Yeah, this pause is gonna make me, I think, just want to get Sling-Gang. Because if they have a counter spell, it's just such a disaster if we get Munitions Expert. And they can gain 3 life off Cling to Dust, but we'll have 7 goblins to sack because this is 2. Yeah, I haven't seen this Mentor deck in a long time. I don't think that it's very good. But that is the thing about Magic the Gathering, is that it's a game, you know? And some people just want to play the decks that they think are cool, which is totally fine. And something I encourage you to do. They do have Thoughtseize. Pretty gross. They do have a counterspell, it's Force of Negations. Maybe that pause was just a sick bluff. If they attack with Mentor, I think I'm triple blocking. Hogak was fun for you. Yeah, lots of people enjoyed playing Hogak. I get it. No, Goblin Grenade is not good in this deck. This is not an aggro deck. This is not a burn deck. They gain 3 life off the Cling to Dust. I'm just taking 4 here. Big draw step. Alright, so we have the same decision point. We can Matron for Sling-Gang and try to win next turn. Or we can Matron for Munitions Expert. But I kind of feel like the damage is done, you know? They can escape again up to 8, and we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goblins for next turn. We just need them not to have like the third or fourth Thoughtseize. Yeah, third Thoughtseize. Or potentially they could kill us if we, you know, don't play around them killing us. But if the thing is, if they Cling to Dust, they're not killing us because this is going to be 11 damage. I guess they could have like Cling to Dust into like land 1 mana spell to trigger prowess, but that feels unlikely to me. So if my opponent isn't going to escape Cling to Dust and they're going to cast 2 cheap spells, then we can just block and survive 2. Looks like they're using Cling to Dust here. Targeting the Munitions Expert to gain 3 life, which is, we have exactly 8 damage. So they have to have like Surgical Extraction here, some 0 mana spell, but they're not even attacking with everybody, so we should be able to squeeze out this game despite our mull to 5. It's kind of a good draw. Opponent is going to make me kill them instead of... Maybe they miscounted. Maybe I miscounted. Feels pretty good. So against Esper Mentor, I feel like the Chalices are going to be really good. Probably don't need Terminate. We have Munitions Expert. Definitely don't want Thoughtseize. Don't want Damping Sphere. I think I'm going to cut the Goblin Chieftain. I often trim on Pyres when I bring in 4 Chalice. I think we'll cut 2 again. We can cut like the 3rd Matron or the 3rd Harbinger or the 4th Snoop. I think I'll just cut the 4th Snoop for like mana curve purposes. Yeah, I think they just miscounted, or some people just have the attitude, make my opponent kill me, which is totally fine. I understand the philosophy. No, I don't think we need Terminates for Mentors. We already have 4 Munitions Experts, and they also have Jace, I suppose, but it's not like they're just have an overwhelming amount of good targets for removal spells. And we can also just ignore their Mentors and combo kill them or outgrind the Mentors sometimes. This is a very good matchup for us, in my opinion. I'm definitely feeling the 1 copy of Gemstone Caverns. I think it's good to have. There'll probably be some times where we have Snoop or Expert that'll be hard to cast, but just one colorless land in the deck I think is affordable. I think obviously has the upside of turn 1 Chalice and some matchups, or even turn 2 combo killing. I think we mulligan this hand, although I really want to keep a 7-card hand in this matchup. But this hand's much better. I think I'm putting back Blood Crypt. I guess we just play Blood Crypt tapped on turn 1. I took the Snoop. Pashalik Mons. We could definitely be a little slow on the draw here, but with no Jace Friends Prodigy, I'm feeling pretty good. No reason not to reveal they already know about this card. Might lead on Pashalik Mons, we'll see. Kind of depends on what I think they're on. Might just Matron for a second Ringleader to play around a Thoughtseize on this one. Yeah, I like the old school Goblin art. It's just kind of goofy. Hey, come follow me off this cliff. Mentor. Maybe we'll get Munitions Expert then. We had Drew Munitions Expert. Okay, interesting. Maybe we'll get 2. We'll get another Expert. Oh, I guess we can't double Expert because we have Caverns. Well, immediately awkward. Immediately awkward. I guess I'm getting War Marshal. Gemstone's Cavern feels awkward in this deck. Has it done anything? Well, this is the first match we're playing it in, but we have been talking about it. I don't think it's that awkward. This deck's mana requirement, it does have some hard mana requirements, but it has really, really good fixing. With the Caverns and the Auntie's Hovels, the fixing is really good. And so I think that the deck can afford to play 1 copy of Gemstone Caverns and have it not really be much of a downside. And again, the only really hard cards to cast are the Snoop and the Munitions Experts. And so I think the deck can afford 1 colorless land. And this being able to cast Chalice of the Void or Damping Sphere on turn 1 in sideboard games, I think is a really big deal. That will steal you some games that you could just never win otherwise. So I feel like the upside is there. So I think I'm going to upkeep Expert. Suppose if my opponent has 3 ops.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring
Keep their mentor alive. But their mentor is dead. Spandex, 6 months, welcome back. Almost seems like one of those red Eldrazi lists with that line of play. Maybe. I remember at my RPTQ meta, there was one guy who kept playing... oh, yikes. Who kept playing mono red Eldrazi and doing well with it. Mentor and Jace. Pretty scary turn. Don't think I'm double blocking. I'm just going to take 2. And not paying Echo. I don't have enough mana to Matron for another Expert and cast it. I kind of just want to play Pashalik Mons or Sling-Gang this turn. into the other one the following turn and just kill my opponent. And I guess I should play Pashalik Mons to play around Inquisition. We also actually can... Playing Pashalik Mons lets us attack with everything, because if they block with Mentor, we get to kill the Mentor. So we get in for 3 points of damage here. If you're not paying Echo, why not chump? I should have chumped then, yeah. Oh, they didn't even block with their Jace. But if they don't remove the Pashalik Mons, they probably die. I don't think they can kill me this turn. They do have this Thoughtseize, I suppose, for Sling-Gang. They don't know about the Sling-Gang necessarily. We'd also Matron for Prospector to deal 5 damage with Pashalik Mons. So maybe if they swing low... No, 6 damage because we also have the Matron. So we can maybe just kill them with that, even if they do Thoughtseize, because they'll be going down to 11 life. We'll see what happens. We'll just keep that line in our head. Might just rip the second Sling-Gang. Yeah, Ross, sadly you have to leave. I should have put no chump in the title of the stream. Right, they do kill my Pashalik
Mons. To the Shark Typhoon.
Only one mode. Three cards in hand, Jace activation, but no black mana. They plus targeting my Matron. Are they dead to Sling-Gang here? Feels like they're close to dead to Sling-Gang. But not, yeah, they're not quite if they attack. If anything, they go to 11. They take 7. Yeah, not quite. Cool game. If I draw a land, I'll probably just Matron for Expert. We'll see what happens. One way or another. War Marshal. Interesting. Wherefore art thou, Tarfire? I think I am attacking with my 1/1s here. Down to 12. We have 7 goblins in play. Now my opponent can Thoughtseize me. They'll probably kill my Sling-Gang with Brutality. I'll just sack the Sling-Gang, I think. And then maybe we draw a land and we go like Matron for another copy of Sling-Gang. But I guess they still have the Thoughtseize.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring
Evan,
Spy.
20 months, dude. Hell yeah. Welcome back, buddy. It's awesome. That founder badge plus 20 months. Certified real one. Alright. Not too upset about this Thoughtseize. Now if we draw our second copy of Sling-Gang off the top, they're dead. Although I guess we're probably having to chump block Mentor at least this turn. Probably can't go down to 2. War Marshal. I think that's what we're playing. I think we're gonna attack out and play double War Marshal. If they have a 1-mana spell, it's pretty bad for us though. It's their last card, but it feels kind of unlikely to me. Yeah. Goblins is I think Goblins is a better deck than Clerics. I think Goblins is a very good deck right now. But Cleric sure is neat, huh? I just think they're neat. Opponent can cling to dust off of Jace if they want to. Or for 4 mana. What about Red Green Shamans? Dude, I've been trying to figure out Shamans so much. You have no idea. I'm having such a hard time. I love shamans. I mean, both Burning Tree Emissary and Seasoned Pyromancer are really good with Pyre. And then there's also like Flamekin Harbinger, which is really good with Pyre too, I think. But like the overlapping the elemental synergies and the shaman synergies has been a tricky puzzle to solve. Tribal Lagak. Is Saddleback Lagak actually, is that the creature type? It probably is. The Snap Unearth. The problem with Matron here is Jace can just discard whatever we tutor with Matron. I don't like this attack, I think. Alright, so we can get Sling-Gang with that. Or Ringleader. But Sling-Gang only puts them to 1. Only. Feels like the play, right? Pyre is so good in this deck. Kind of funny if we don't make that block, they're dead. I don't know. I mean, I think we're still supposed to make that block. Do I think Muxus would be okay for Modern? I mean, Muxus is a pretty poorly designed card, so I don't think I would like to see it in Modern. Alright, the only things that can flashback are Thoughtseize right now, which kills them if they play it. This is a lot of Force of Negations to keep in against Goblins, but I get it because this deck like often plays Boil. Guess I'm just sacking the Sling-Gang. I'd just be trading boards here if my opponent attacks. Oh, I guess they could actually flashback Fatal Push with Jace. I don't think my opponent has another cheap spell. At least I'm not going to play around it. They could have it. I guess, yeah, I'm just blocking like this. If they have a cheap spell, we probably lose, but I think this gives us the best chance of winning. Awesome. Yeah, they probably should just flashback Fatal Push, right? They're forced to block all 4 goblins. Well, the problem is we're at 4. We have to block at least 2 tokens. We only, we have to block 2 tokens, and so if we block both tokens, then I'm getting Skirk Prospector here. If we block both tokens, then we don't have lethal on the crackback because they have a Snapcaster to block. We had 6 tokens to block with, and they're at 7 too. We have to block 2 down to 4 goblins. Yeah, that was the correct block. They're minusing targeting Fatal Push. They push the Prospector. Yeah, Pyre is only sorcery speed, just like Pod. We are at 2 life. Guess I'm attacking Jace, and then Pyring into Ringleader and leaving the Ringleader back to block. But hopefully we also find, you know, a 2-mana Goblin to block with. There's also game 3 to play. My opponent only has 5 minutes on the clock. So the 2-mana Goblin. Gonna kill Snapcaster in their upkeep, I think. Ooh. I mean, you could have attacked the turn you played Sling-Gang when they were tapped out. I guess. Let's focus on where we're at now. I feel like I've played this game fine, though. So my opponent needs to kill both of my creatures here. Or they could just draw Collective Brutality and kill me. We know that they have that card in their deck. Ringleader has haste? Yeah, but I know Ringleader has haste, but I want to get the Jace to 2 loyalty, and I want to be able to block the Snapcaster so I don't die. And this is, like, the better way to do it. It's much better to attack with Ringleader and leave this unblock. I think you're supposed to keep a hand like this. I basically want Aether Vial or Pyre of Heroes in every hand. Ideally one of each, but one is fine. How did Blue-Red go earlier? Not well. Started off okay. Alright, so we lose game 1, and then we get to mulligan aggressively the next 2 games. Unless they brick. Tanking, I want to exile with Caverns. They exile Seasoned Pyromancer. So this is the Tybalt's Trickery version. Which is like a little more interesting. I think it's... Or sorry, the Valky... Not the Tybalt's Trickery. Just the Valky version. Which is more interesting. I wonder if we can just outgrind that. Although, if they're putting a Valky into play on turn 1, it's just like... Good beats. 7 cards. Didn't play around Demonic Dread very well, I guess. This is the only card in our deck, too. We have 1 copy of this. We have 1 copy of Skirk Prospector in our whole deck, and it's the only way they could cast this on turn 1. It's kind of funny. That's how it worked out. They exiled a Snoop on my end and an Overgrown 2 on their end. Then they had another Valky and a Cavern of Souls here. They might play Valky. Valky's kind of good here. Sorry about the lawnmower outside. They named Human off of Cavern of Souls. Blood Moon's not very good against us. What are we getting if we Matron here? Not sure.
Okay, baby, we're gonna go to the store.
Okay. Have fun.
Rest of our stuff that we need. If you think of anything, text it to me. I got chips on the list.
Okay, I'm probably not gonna think of anything to.
Okay.
But
I think I have everything in mind, anyways.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Thank you. War Marshal gives us some mana potentially with the Prospector. We could also Pyre into. We could go War Marshal into 3-drop next turn. Yeah, let's get War Marshal. Then maybe we can go War Marshal and Pyre that into Chieftain. Control A, Mr. Basham. If they exile my Pyre, which is fine. It's gonna be funny if they cast their own Pyre. They play a Pyro. Oh, we drew basic Swamp. It's pretty sick. They're gonna play War Marshal into Ringleader here. Or I could also play. I could play War Marshal into Kiki-Jiki, copy Goblin Matron, get Munitions Expert. But then just minus onto the Kiki-Jiki. This is a cool game. Like, you know, this is also a bit silly, but I very much enjoy playing against this deck more than the Trickery deck, where it just feels like I'm not playing Magic the Gathering, you know? Yikes, not a good hit. If I attack here too, I can't copy the Ringleader. Yeah, I guess I'm just not attacking with Ringleader either. Hopefully they don't cast this Valky. Them casting Valky would be really bad for us. Snoop. They have another copy of Valky on top. So that means that they're not going to be able to cascade into another Tybalt if we can get that one off the field. They also don't have... Oh, they don't have black mana for Valky because they Blood Mooned. So do I want to Pyretic Ritual this Mogg War Marshal? Okay, so actually, yeah, let's go Mogg War Marshal. One, two, three, 4, 5. Kiki-Jiki. Copy Matron. Get Munitions Expert. Play Swamp. Kill Tybalt by sacking the copy. Oh, they have Dismember? Okay. It's bad. Yikes. There's a garbage truck outside. There's just like a ton of noise outside today. Oh, they copy the Kiki. I'll take a draw step, but Kiki copies Spyro's nasty. Also, Damping Sphere is much worse against this version because they only need to have 4 mana to cascade into Tybalt's, because they're not casting a 3rd spell. But it is also just like possible to beat this deck. I think we'll see. Yeah, let's pack it in. This was just like 1 turn too late. The Dismember was gnarly. So I want these Thoughtseizes. Probably want to go down on Munitions Expert. Maybe play like 2 copies. Go down to 3 Pyres. Seems kind of good to me. 3 War Marshal. I think there's a viable Cleric deck that plays Conclave Mentor and Luminarch Aspirant. No, I don't think Conclave Mentor is even a good card, honestly. I feel like Conclave Mentor is like the worst card in that deck. I think we keep this. Why Terminate over Dreadbore? Instant speed matters a ton. I'm playing the card to beat up on the Prowess decks and the Scourge decks. I'm not even bringing it in against Planeswalkers. And instant speed matters a lot in those matchups. Is Munitions one of the best ways to fight their game plan? I mean, Tybalt has 6 or 7 loyalty when it comes down, right? And so, like, being able to tutor one up is nice, but it's not like maybe I should be playing Dreadbore for this matchup. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Angros Rampage is not good in a deck without other spot removal, I think. This is a hand where we're trying to combo with, I think. It's pretty good for them. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do want more Munitions Experts. We'll think about it. It also kills Valky. And Valky is good against us. They took a Matron. Pretty sure I'm just going to get Expert and Expert the Valky. Maybe I'm not supposed to do it right now, because they could have another copy of Valky. But if that's their play next turn, it's maybe not so bad either. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're just going to put a Tybalt into play. Which is pretty beatable. We can just kill it with our second copy of Expert. We can go Sling-Gang, Matron for Expert, Vial, and the other Expert, which is kind of feels like the nuts, but works. They hit a Bloodbraid Elf though and a Cavern of Souls, so they can cast Bloodbraid next turn. Pyre is interesting. Yeah, I think with Pyre in our hand, we could just kind of take this, like, get it really ahead on board line. And then next turn, Pyre is going to be able to generate a lot of card advantage. We've had such a good draw this game. Do you think the opponent's deck beats Prowess regularly? Yeah. I think the matchup's probably pretty close. Alright, hit a monkey. Hit a monkey with this Bloodbraid Elf, please. Okay, they hit another Tybalt's. This is gonna be the third one. It's good against Prowess, yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. They're gonna hit Plague Engineer, that would be gnarly. They had Thoughtseize, Verdant Catacombs. So I'm probably ticking the vials up, and I'm gonna. We can either Pyre Matron into Ringleader. Or I guess we actually just want to Pyre this into Pashalik Mons. Or maybe this into Matron for Mons for 1 more damage. Yeah, I think they're just dead to Pashalik Mons here. So I think we're going to go no and then yes. Not 100% sure. Haven't been bothered to count yet, but I'm like 99% sure. This deck is so fun to play. People keep asking me, what does Pyre do for the deck? Hope that this is a good example. They're super dead. I don't need to count. Yeah, I've saved the targets. Well, we definitely drew super well that game. Probably gonna be hard to bank on drawing as well this game. You know what? I guess these could be Dreadbores. Although, like, losing the instant speed against Blue-Red Prowess and Scourge is huge. It's a big deal. But just, like, getting that splash damage in this matchup seems pretty good. I'll think about it. Let's bring these experts back in. I think it was wrong to cut so many. Not sure what else we're trimming on. I think I want to keep the combo. Can we cut the 3rd Ringleader, 3rd War Marshal? Maybe cut third Pyre. And I think I want to keep the Prospector. The Prospector is worse now that I've cut some amount of Goblins. Yeah, can we cut the Prospector? I think Angra's Rampage is... If my plan is to be able to bring this in against Scourge and Prowess, and I can't kill Stormwing Entity or Scourge because they have an extra creature to sacrifice, that sounds really bad to me. So I don't think I'm very interested in doing that. Kind of feel like Angra's Rampage is... I also am not very high on the card in general, but I'm especially not high on it in this deck. I might play some Clerics today, yeah. I'm kind of thinking about playing some Clerics after this. We'll see. Kind of sounds fun. I think we have to keep this. Put them most to 6. Yeah, the instant speed is super important, but if we'll lose percentage points against Prowess, but maybe we need the percentage points in this matchup. Yeah, I'd love to 5-0 with Clerics. I mean, it's possible that you could just win this matchup. It's possible that you could just win. Like, this hand has a relatively fast combo, and can maybe just ignore Tibalt depending on what they do with it. No, we didn't play the Valky deck already. I got kind of stuck, so decided to shelve it till I can figure out how I want to build the mana base and the spell base. But I've got some ideas for it. I just don't know how I want to pull these ideas off, I guess. What did they mulligan to? Mulligan to 5. They probably have to take this expert, right? Yeah. Can Vial this in next turn, so just good to use the mana on Pyre. This was a bad draw. Second Pyre. Maybe they'll kill this. I guess the Demonic Dread can target Valky. So they can either Cascade Spell put the Tibalt into play, but they're not just slamming it, so... Oh, never mind. I guess they're just trying to figure out what they're going to do with the Tibalts. Maybe they'll exile this. Exiling Vial is better. But they maybe won't have interaction for our combo because they have 2 cards in their hand. This can't target a yeah, so next turn we can flash in Munitions Expert in our upkeep. Dude, if they hadn't exiled the Vial, we could have cast the Expert. I guess it's not that big a deal. And then we can Pyre the Expert into a Harbinger and just win the game. Oh no, they exiled the Expert, of course, but now we have another 2-drop on top, which is very lucky to have 2/2s. But they can Expert, but Expert only deals 1 damage, but Expert kills Harbinger when we copy it with Snoop. Such a complicated card. They also hit a monkey. Yeah, so Expert does kill Harbinger when we go to copy it with Kiki-Jiki. But we also just don't have to do that. We can just make... We can make infinite goblins on our instep, or at least just like a goblin on our instep. Oh, interesting. They're getting a new Tibalt. Are they going to plus, or are they going to exile my Snoop? It's pretty close, honestly. Yeah, now I can get Goblin Chieftain off of the War Marshal, and then attack with Chieftain in both tokens and kill their Tibalts. Dude, this game has been really fun. I don't know if this Tibalt deck is too good, but I will say, like, I'm having a lot of fun in this game, and I have not been having any fun against Tibalt's Trickery. But maybe I don't mind this deck sticking around. Someone yesterday, I don't think I responded to them, I meant to though. Someone yesterday was telling me that the Undying Goblin was better than War Marshal, but I think that's not true because of specifically this line. I meant to respond to them, and I'll try to remember. Alright, so they've used 3 Valkyries. Some lists only play 3. We'll see if they have. They probably only play 3 because they revealed 43 cards through the last Cascade. It's surreal that people are talking about a good Tibalt card. I agree. I posted this yesterday. Didn't seem like people really liked it, but I thought it was funny. Wait, they're copying Expert? Oh, to play an Expert. That's a play. That's a cool play. I posted this yesterday. I think there's probably just not a ton of Naruto fans, but I was thinking the same thing. So I was thinking that you know, Tibalt's very much like Naruto, looking at all the other planeswalkers, and has now leveled up and is using his new technique to win. Guess I'm attacking with both. I think Pyring into a Prospector. Oh no, I sided out the Prospector. Damn it. Sided out the Prospector. Maybe you never do then. Although my opponent's deck is much worse now that they can't put a Tibalt into play, and then all we need to do is draw a Goblin ever, and we win, probably. Yeah, the Clerics deck was really fun. Do you guys want to play Clerics next? I do have a slightly updated list from yesterday. They left in Blood Moon against me? That's so bad, I think. Although we'll probably just immediately draw one of our black goblins here. Cool. We can play Clerics next. I've been wanting to. Alright, attack for 1. Draw a black goblin. No, not quite. Although getting Kiki-Jiki isn't necessarily great here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get Snoop so we can just try to kill them next turn. Or play the Snoop. The Clerics did not feel like a bad deck yesterday. Clerics did not feel like a bad deck. It didn't feel like a great deck, but like the deck felt like we had some very, very powerful draws, and we were like we really were contending with some really powerful draws from our opponent too. Alright, so next turn we can Pyre Goblin Ringleader into Kiki-Jiki, copy Conspicuous Snoop, sacrifice the Conspicuous Snoop copy into Harbinger, and win the game. I think my opponent's trying to cast that Bloodbraid Elf on the top of their library, but it's not a goblin, so they can't. They just cast Monkey. This is a cool line. We do still have 2 Kikis in the deck, right? Yeah. Dude, I love this deck. This deck is so fun to play. If you guys have been missing Birthing Pod, Pyre of Heroes is very good, and this deck kind of feels like playing that deck. Yeah, Pyre is great. People are still like sus about it, but Pyre is so good in this deck. It's absurd. Oh, it's not letting me save targets. There's no like trigger. I guess is the trigger underneath my library. There it is. So yeah, it's fine. Don't know why my opponent isn't scooping. You got to right click? Okay, I'll keep that in mind, but at this point. Give my opponent a slow and agonizing death. It's really not that many clicks. I think I'll keep this. I do usually want either a Pyre or a Vial in my opening hand, but I think this hand's good enough to keep without mulliganing. Respect the Cat is our opponent's name. Yeah, you also get to play with just like... Goblins are awesome. All the arts are just so funny. It's a really good draw. Should have left him at 1 life for 5 minutes and then waste all of your time. Yeah. I think it's possible that like some action needs to be taken on the ban list or whatever, but at the very least, I'm having a good time right now. I think we have the red-black mid-range deck, which is like a really good matchup. I'll pay Echo, catching up to Jim Davis on the most paid Echoes ever. Still, I have to probably do a few more. Would I please ask them which cat to respect? I think it's just you respect all cats, right? Either way, I'm not asking. What if Green Tron cast card liberated at turn 1 10% of games? Yeah. I get it. I get it. But at the very least, we can take a breather, see how the format shapes up, have a good time until, you know, we figure out if anything needs to happen ban list wise. I might just get a Snoop here, although it's not, because you know, we're pretty likely to be able to kill them. Maybe I could get Pashalik Mons. I don't really want to get Prospector just so I can cast Ringleader next turn. We'll draw a land. It's fine. I think Pashalik Mons is pretty good on this board, especially with the Sling-Gang in my hand. It says the cat, well, all the cats. So I recommend to you that you respect all cats. I can send you a Pyre zombie list. I'll take a look at it. I've been pretty stuck on like 4 mana zombies to Pyre into. That's what I've been stuck on specifically. So I'm happy if someone else has, like, you know, figured it out, cracked the code to take a look. Man, they were super flooded. Thank you, Seasoned Pyromancer. Alright, well, that's, you know, a kill next turn if they don't have interaction. But they are red-black mid-range. Kind of funny card to be on top. Do you have to respect the 2019 version movie? I mean, do you respect perfect art? Do you respect masterpieces? Then yes, you should. They get to Kroxa now. They're not going to Kroxa? They're attacking first? Undead Warchief? I don't think the card's bad. It's just like... not like... The thing is, like, there are 4 mana zombies, and there are 4 mana zombies that won't necessarily be embarrassing to put in your deck. But none of them are very good. Are we just dead to this Kroxa? I kind of feel like we are. Just don't have a 4th land. Yeah, we're drawing Boggart Harbinger. And we can't really Harbinger for anything. And they're going to discard one of my 2 goblins here. Maybe I wasn't supposed to tutor up Prospector. I think I'm just supposed to hope to rip a land next turn. Discard Sling-Gang and hope to Ringleader into some good stuff. The problem with Skin Render is Skin Render's minus counters do not reset Geralf's Messenger. I thought that they did, but it actually doesn't work that way because it's dying. I don't even remember what chat was telling me. I still don't really get why it doesn't work. But from what I understand, Skin Render does not reset Geralf's Messenger, which is just like enough for me to not play the card. I think I'm not sideboarding. Yeah, Pelukridos Unchained is also just not high enough power level. You know, we're looking for a card like Sling-Gang Lieutenant, Goblin Ringleader. Like these are the cards that Zombies has to compete with, right? Is there a reason to not just keep Boggart Harbinger in hand to pitch to Kroxa? Maybe that was better. I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep this hand though. If I had a second black source, I would hold the Mire to shuffle with Snoop, but I'll just get Blood Crypt on turn 1. Lifebane Zombie is a nice one. The Lifebane Zombie's fine, but Zombies has like a really high density of solid... Come on. Are you kidding me? We're gonna... I guess they can't name Bloodstained Mire, actually. There's no way they name Bloodstained Mire. They're a Bloodstained Mire deck. Yeah, Terminate over Push, both... They did name Bloodstained Mire. Gross. Come on. I was yielded till end of turn. Yeah, Terminate over Push for Stormwing, but also because we're a Chalice of the Void deck, and so we're bringing in Chalice of the Void in those matchups anyways. This is like the most frustrating way to lose. Also, like, Caverns has been bad twice now and been good 0 times, so maybe don't play it. But they also have 4 Bloodstained Mire in their deck. Named Sling-Gang Lieutenant. It's fair, I guess. They like definitely have spot removal, right? I think I'm still playing Snoop. This is maybe not that bad. Both the -1 counters canceling out the +1 counters and it dying to having 0 toughness, state-based actions would be taken during the same check, so it dies with both counters still on it. Got it. Thank you. It's definitely confusing me. Now, really, like, how I've always had to learn everything in life, Magic included, is like, I don't know, I just have to, like, experience it. I have to have things explained to me a million times before I remember them. I think I get it now. Channeler is pretty good here. Of course, they draw Vista, not Mire. They draw Marsh Flats too. It's fine, I'm not upset. So I was playing in the finals of a vintage tournament and let a Nino resolve assuming they named Walder. Instead they named my Flooded Strand. When I later won the game, they revealed their hand of 2 Flooded Strands. It's funny. Yeah, this discards Mires. That's a good point. They have a lot of discard outlets to discard the Mires. I feel like this matchup's good, but of course you can lose good matchups. Cliffs Vista, so we'll see if their last card is relevant. Are people playing Plague Engineer right now? I don't think so. Oh, they did have a Mire discarded. It's funny. Why did I say Plague Engineer? What was I doing saying the words Plague Engineer? In what world does it benefit me to, like, speculate about a theoretical Plague Engineer? That's on me. It's just completely my fault. Why you have 6? They have Needle on Sling-Gang. Yeah, they knew this was our last card too. Alright, I'll lose if my Chieftain ever dies because we can't beat Plague Engineer with our configuration. Oh, I guess we could now draw Munitions Expert and actually kill it. If our Chieftain ever dies against the red-black deck, we concede. You really need Crater Maker in a deck? I disagree. I really think that Plague Engineer is not very popular at all right now, and it's okay to not have answers for it at the moment. We're going to reveal 2 lands. We're going to need that to be the case. It's also like tutoring up Crater Maker after Plague Engineer wrecks your board is not. It's not like you win the game, you know? It's like, it's kind of a way to not lose sometimes. I could be wrong though. I go to 5. Keep this ham. I think I'm putting back Prospector Mountain. I think the second Vial is usually good. If the MDFCs get changed, is Valkyrie still a modern playable card? Maybe. Wait, Blooming Marsh Vial? His opponent Brewing? I guess it's just Yawgmoth. Which is a very cool deck, yeah. Probably a fine matchup, although we've got a, you know, kind of a slow Mold of 5. I'll Vial this in now. Maybe we can clear cards from the top of our deck. Value, baby. That's 1 mulligan undone and a land on top. Not too bad. Could kill them next turn if the card underneath this Auntie's Hovel is a Boggart Harbinger or a Goblin Matron. So we have 7 outs to kill them next turn. If they don't put Yawgmoth into play, I guess. Yeah, we're dead to Yawgmoth now. But we have 7 outs. That was one of them. That was one of them. Okay, Magic is fun again. We got lucky this time. And we have 2 Snoops too, so even if they just have some random removal spell, it doesn't even stop us. So I probably do want Terminates to kill Yawgmoth. Maybe not the full 4. Kind of down to maybe trim on War Marshal. Maybe trim on Ringleader if we're bringing in Terminates too. Could also see cutting the 4th Pyre on the draw. Maybe cutting the 4th Matron on the draw. We're just bringing 2 Terminate. We have 6 removal spells. I think that's enough. And Terminate is only good against Yawgmoth. It's like okay against Mana Dorks, but it's like mostly there just for Yawgmoth. Thoughtseize has to be decent? I don't really think so. Their deck is like very redundant and resilient. And so like Thoughtseize is free to bring in. Let's go to 6. Well, this is a turn 3 combo. Keep putting this back so we don't draw the second Kiki, of course. Not today, Kiki-Jiki. Not today.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Got the shotgun, 4 months. What's up, Sharklings? Welcome back. We're having a good day today. Alright, Yawgmoth can kill my Snoop. At the cost of both of their creatures, though. Huh. Can't they kill Harbinger? Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily beat us. I'm hoping that that's what they do. I'm hoping that's what they do. Yeah, because you can just make infinite Snoops on their end step. So I wanted to make a token copy here. Because it doesn't really need 1 copy, really. But we can make infinite Snoops on their end step, so they also have to kill this token on our end step, which is not their original Snoop either. And it's not going to be that difficult for them to do that, but killing the token and not the original Snoop is definitely a big cost. Having a dead draw is also a big cost. I agree, but we also, like, if we get infinite Snoops on our turn, we have like the Bloodstained Mire to shuffle, so we have 2 looks at a Matron, Harbinger, Sling-Gang to kill them. I think that this was the line, you know. Was 5-color Cascade featuring Cryptic Command, Uro, Field of Dead on my 2021 card? Bingo. No, it was not. Still trying to figure it out, that deck. Create tokens in the end step. Thanks, buddy. Good line, I think. Pretty smart. yeah, that's the line I'm taking. That's the line I'm taking. Yeah, so they're gonna court for Messenger, I guess. -1 counter. Reset the Messenger. -1 counter. Kill my Vial and then kill the Snoop. This seems worse than Messenger to me. Yeah, GG's Matt, no worries. I understand being flustered and nervous. I've definitely done the same thing. Oh, I was supposed to make infinite Snoops, wasn't I? Yeah, I was supposed to make infinite Snoops. Thing if we have like lots of outs to kill them here. Although we would not have hit. I think we just go to game 3. Not beating this Yawgmoth. Keep. Plus says in chat, I think this works. Not sure what they mean by that. Am I terminating this? I'd like to draw Munitions Expert. Yeah, I think it's just so good to Pyre away this War Marshal next turn. I'm going to do that. We could maybe Pyre this into Munitions Expert for the bird, but probably not. Athena, welcome to the game. I really dislike Goose in their deck, if I'm being honest. We'll Pyre away the Mogg War Marshal to Pashalik Mons. Yeah, that's the line. Can't use this mana for anything, but that's okay. Don't I kill the Goose too? I don't think so. The Goose is just like a Lotus Petal. I would maybe terminate it if I had a black mana here, but I don't. I think we have answers for this. This uses their food, which is huge too. Goose is just the worst Birds of Paradise 5 and 6. Yeah, I think it's worse than like Elvish Mystic. Or they also play Wall of Roots already. I think it's worse than Aether, Vial, Elvish Mystic, Wall of Roots. I think it's bad. Oh yeah, activating Pyre just kills this. I was gonna get a Sling-Gang and kill it too, which I'm still getting Sling-Gang, but you're right. You could have sacked a token instead of using that dual Terminate with the floating mana. That's true. Yeah, maybe that was better. What says? Oh my god, tough stuff. 3-1 with Goblins. Still liking the deck a lot. Yeah, I think with Pyres, I don't think you can play main deck discard, but I understand why you want it. I think you just like try to win. Sometimes you can turn 3 Tybalt's Trickery on the play. Sometimes that is good enough. Not very often, but game 1 is not an automatic loss, and you have 8 sideboard cards to bring in, which has been like good enough for me at least. I think I'm playing War Marshal into Pyre here. So I'm gonna attack first. Or maybe I'll just play Pyre this turn and then sack the War Marshal next turn to the Pyre by sacking the token to the Prospector. I'm going to dismember my Prospector. So this is maybe Tybalt's Trickery. Or sorry, not Tybalt's Trickery, the Valky deck. We played against this matchup earlier. It was really fun. No cap, just like actually a really fun match. Take my Harbinger, interesting. Guess I'm playing Snoop. Let's put a stop my upkeep. I imagine a Tybalt is being... I mean, they actually can't cast Violent Outburst here, but they could cast Demonic Dread. If they plus, we can't Munitions Expert, which is kind of interesting. I think they're just going to minus on the Snoop, though. Yeah. And then, so we can't kill this with Munitions Expert, which stings, which is really bad. They also didn't attack, which is weird. Why exactly is main deck discard bad? Well, I think that with Pyre of Heroes, it's very... all of a sudden... You are, with Aether Vial and Pyre of Heroes, you just have too few goblins in a deck that needs a critical density of goblins. If you have 12 non-goblin spells, it's just too much in my opinion. So they milled a land. So if we hit a land, we can go War Marshal into Chieftain, and then both of our tokens have haste and our Expert has haste, and we can kill this. But we need a land. They're gonna put a it's Tybalt's still dying if we attack with the Chieftain. Oh, Pyro, not dying anymore. Damn it. Let's see what we draw. I guess another Pyre is so bad. All right, let's go to game 2. Maybe a bit of an early concession, but no land there means their turn's gonna be so bad and their ball's just still rolling. No, you know it's clearly discard or Pyre, you know that. I mean, Pyre is so good, so I just sideboard the discard spells, in my opinion. But I also don't really care too much to just like go back and forth forever on it. Do what you want to do. So I think this is how I sideboarded last time, and we did win the match. If you want to combo, the only card it combos with is Barrington Medic. Well, it also combos with Mikaeus, but Mikaeus being 6 mana is not a real consideration, I think. Yeah. Nothing there. You're debating on how many Valkyrie to play at RAKDOS midrange? I probably would settle on 0. Probably in RAKDOS. Snapkeep. Yeah, and Thoughtseize is also not free. It's not just like it's always easy to cast. But again, we're not just talking about this forever with like we're not derailing the whole stream just to talk about discard versus Pyre of Heroes in the main deck. I've given my opinion. Yeah, I think that the Grim Kelly combo like does obviously have synergies with our deck, right? But it obviously has synergies with our deck, but I think that it's like too many slots, makes you splash a 3rd color, and is a worse combo than Snoop Harbinger. If I could be any goblin in Magic, which goblin would I be? Probably Goblin, the balloon one. Goblin's a Balloon Brigade. Whichever goblin is in the balloon. We did beat this deck earlier, but we also drew really well. Draw Ringleader off the top, we're actually just kind of in good shape. We did Mold 5 this game too. So in 3-2 with goblins, I still do like the deck. I think this deck is like powerful and a good choice despite it being poorly positioned. So if things change, like this is definitely a deck that I think can be super dominant.